All right, this is Michael Duarte with NBCLA live here at Oracle Park in San Francisco with Matthew Moreno of Dodger Blue. And we have just witnessed one of the most epic games in MLB postseason history in the very first playoff matchup between the longtime rival Los Angeles Dodgers and San Francisco Giants. Matt, let's just get started with this game. This was a epic slugfest. I'm talking about the series as a whole. If you guys happen to see Wilder Fury 3, this was the kind of heavyweight fight for the ages that people were talking about and hoping to see between these two teams. They won 109 games each entering Game 5. Everything was even. This was the 24th and final matchup. Kobe's number, Matthew, by the way, since we both also cover the Lakers. And there was a little bit of mention between Kobe and Shaq later on the show. So, Matt, just what were your first takeaways of this epic game and the tension and intensity and the drama that went with it?
I guess I'm still kind of catching my breath from everything. Obviously, it started earlier this afternoon with the Dodgers announcing that Corey Knebel would be the opener instead of Julio Urias starting. I could see kind of the logic behind it. We were talking before the game. I think we kind of thought they would go with Knebel in the first inning, maybe another reliever in the second inning before then going to Julio, and sure enough, that's what ended up happening. Pitching, it was unconventional, if you will, even though the Dodgers have kind of used bullpen games and openers throughout the year. For a Game 5, winner-take-all, it's different, but it worked. And then it kind of just came down to Logan Webb again was, not quite as dominant, I would say, but obviously just as effective as he was in Game 1. Dodgers didn't chase as much, so that helped their cause. Mookie Betts obviously went 4 for 4. And just, like you said, all the drama in the late innings of the game before it kind of turned on a couple singles in the ninth.
We're going to get to the last pitch of the game here in a second, but first, Cody Bellinger, the GOAT in a bad way for most of the regular season, probably the worst season in his professional career, up and down with injuries this year, batting below 150 at one point in the season, just struggling at the plate, adjusting his swing, adjusting his mechanics. It's him who makes a 2-strike adjustment by tightening up on the bat, by coming up on the bat. What am I looking for right now? Cody Bellinger changing in the at-bat on 2 strikes, choking up on the bat to take a 2-strike approach against Camilo Doval, a guy who throws over 100 miles per hour, and he ends up knocking in, not the swiftest of feet in Justin Turner, but knocking in Justin Turner for the game-winning run. And as I tweeted right before the at-bat happened, Cody Bellinger had a chance to completely wipe away the memory of the 2021 regular season with one swing, and he did exactly that, sending the Dodgers to the NLCS. What did you think of Cody Bellinger going from GOAT to hero from the regular season to this game?
Yeah, so for if any of your viewers have happened to catch the Dodger Blue YouTube channel, they would probably consider me a little bit of a Cody Bellinger apologist. He obviously had a rough season. I think injuries were a significant factor, even if you go back to he was recovering from the shoulder surgery that Adrian Gonzalez, Matt Kemp have all said it takes you a while to regain the strength in it. So he's been fighting an uphill battle pretty much from day one. Defensively, I think he still has a lot of value, and that's what I've argued. And I was telling people, it wasn't going to surprise me if at some point in the playoffs he came up with a big hit or a big home run. And sure enough, that happened tonight. Credit to him. He's continued to tell us that, I'm not frustrated with how the season has gone. It's in the past. I'm just focused on the present and what I can do to kind of help the team now. And that's what we saw tonight. I mean, Doval is not an easy at-bat. Like you said, his velocity is in the triple digits, and that's something that Cody has struggled hitting this year. I know he didn't. Doval kind of went away from his fastball a little bit, and maybe, you might second-guess that if you're the Giants. It is what it is. But even, frankly, Cody wasn't handling spin that much better either. So to come through in a big moment, he's done it repeatedly in the postseason, is huge, and I think it's definitely big for the Dodgers moving forward, considering, Max Muncy, if he's not available for the NLCS, you're going to need, again, a collective effort.
But now we're going to go to the final swing of the game, Matt. You got a check swing on Wilmer Flores, which if you check out Twitter and social media, they're saying he did not go around. Morales, the first base umpire, called the strike, said he did go around, and that comes full circle from that July 22nd game when Darren Ruff did go around, and it was not called a strike and called a ball. Kenley Jansen ends up blowing the save in that game. The Giants come back to win. The Giants win the NL West by 1 game, and that really was an important moment of the season between these two teams. It's now come full circle. What do you think about the way the game ended, and are you happy with it, I guess?
It's tough. I mean, obviously, it was the wrong call, right? I mean, there's angles and video. Like, Wilmer Flores didn't go around. He did check his swing. I think it's just another reminder of how funny and cruel baseball can be. It always seems to find a way to even out somehow. You know, if you're at the end of the day, when you're these teams competing in the postseason, you short of obviously cheating, you take your wins however you can get them. And, I mean, it sort of is what it is. It's full circle.
Yeah, you know, the way the rule is written on the check swings is the intent to swing, which makes it a judgment call by the umpires. So, you know, your guys are going to talking, did it go 50% over the plane path, and that's what the argument's going to be. But did Wilmer Flores have the intent to swing on that pitch? And that's what Morales said he did. But yeah, I am going to be a proponent. I said this even back on July 22nd. If we have replay review, we should be able to replay review everything. And if that means even balls and strikes, if it's way outside, then do it. I know we don't want to waste time, but you should be able to replay review everything. And I hope that is something that's looked at. So in both cases of these games, it could have been reviewed and the call could have gotten right, and we could have seen how this game played out, and we could have seen how that game played out back on July 22nd. Last one, Matt. Now looking ahead to the NLCS, a rematch of the 2020 NLCS in the bubble in Arlington, Texas, between the Dodgers and Braves. Jocktober is now on the other side of this Dodgers-Braves rivalry. This will be the third time they've met in the postseason in the last 5 years. It's a good matchup, but the Braves are shorthanded now. They don't have Ronald Acuna. They've lost a lot of guys. They did add Charlie Morton to it. They don't have Marcell Ozuna. So who you got in the rematch? In another heavyweight fight, potentially, as you remember last year, Dodgers down 3-1 the series, win 3 straight to pull it out. Who you got this year, and what do you think that series will be like?
I think the Dodgers will still will win again. I don't think they will fall behind 3-1 and mount another historic comeback. I think it will be a long series, though, and a lot of that is, like I expressed earlier, I have my doubts on Max Scherzer's availability for Game 1. Frankly, I don't know if it would be wise to even start him in Game 1, and I know the Dodgers would be fighting an uphill battle on that point, but you're probably not going to sweep the Braves, even if Scherzer starts Game 1. So maybe, play it a little bit cautious, be a little bit smarter, see the bigger picture, and kind of go from there.
Well, there you have it. We will be there in Atlanta. Well, I will be there in Atlanta at least, and we will bring all the live action to you. Again, this was Michael Duarte with NBC LA, Matthew Moreno with Dodger Blue, here live at Oracle Park in San Francisco for one of the best playoff games, period, I've seen ever. And hopefully it was just as great for you guys fans watching back in LA. Thank you.